telling him not to counterpunch.
Welcome back to Boxing Battles. In today's video, we are going back in time to look at 10 iconic punches that will never be forgotten.
And Morrison goes down for the first time in his career.
In a boxing match, to land the perfect punch can be sometimes precision or other times just unbelievably lucky. Successful boxers must have a measure of luck, but most of their accomplishments are due to their well-honed skills and dedication to training. Some fight for the love of the sport, whilst others fight for the money and fame. Either way, their objective is the same: to deliver the ideal punch and destroy the opposition. Every fighter who steps into the ring in boxing is only one punch away from changing history. These legendary punches change boxing history forever, becoming iconic and instantly elevating the game of boxing to a whole nother level. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Here on Boxing Battles, we take you for a blast in the past and reminisce about some of boxing's greatest moments. In 2002, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward engaged into a war, which became one of the greatest fights in history, in what would become one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Round 9 of their first fight is unquestionably one of the greatest rounds in boxing history. Shortly into the round, Gatti was dropped by a huge body shot, a punch that Ward had used to knock out many other of his opponents. A punch Zab Judah called the hardest he had ever been hit with. Gatti barely beat the 10 count, but that's all he needed to let the ref let him continue.
And he is hurt.
This is it. He's not going to recover. It's not like a hand punch.
He may not be able to recover.
I don't think so.
Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin was a heavyweight professional boxing match contested between the defending WBC interim champion, Whyte, and former world champion, Povetkin. Whyte had established himself as one of the top heavyweights in the world and was chomping at the bit to not just win, but win in style.
It is all over in the 11th round. Dillian Whyte knocks Derek Chisora out after a thunderous battle.
If victorious, the 32-year-old would have had a mandatory challenge of Tyson Fury's WBC Heavyweight Championship, finally enforced after a 1,000-day wait. But unfortunately for Whyte, as too often in boxing, things did not exactly go to plan. He was smashed by a colossal left uppercut in the 5th round that ended all his hopes in a flash. Whyte fell flat on his back, and the referee instantly called a halt to the fight.
Nothing away from a very good one, but what a shot from Alexander Povetkin, and he's knocked Dillian Whyte cold here.
Unbeaten in 24 professional outings, Prince Naseem Hamed had defended his WBO World Featherweight title 4 times prior to meeting IBF champion Tom Johnson in 1997, and was aiming to prove himself as the best in the division. Johnson was a skilled but underappreciated craftsman who held a featherweight title in the mid-1990s. He made 12 successful defenses of his IBF belt over a 4-year period, before age and emerging superstar Prince Naseem Hamed caught up with him.
The IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Tom Boom Boom Johnson.
In round 8, Naseem opened a cut under Johnson's right eye, and a short left had him stumbling backwards. With a minute to go, he delivered a right, then a left, but the determined IBF champ was still on his feet. A few more rights forced Johnson into a neutral corner, and as he staggered forward, Hamed exploded a monstrous right uppercut, stripping Johnson of all senses.
A right uppercut! Prince championship of the world to his WBO belt. He is twice a world champion, and again the finish was electric.
March 31, 1980, Sugar Ray Leonard scored the most brutal knockout of his Hall of Fame career when he blasted British challenger Dave Boy Green to the canvas with a ferocious left hook in the 4th round of their ring and WBC welterweight title fight. Leonard, known for his blinding hand speed and superior foot movement, was fresh off his title-winning effort over fellow great Wilfred Benitez.
These young men are fighters. Maybe now they won't call Sugar Ray Leonard a hype. There it is. He stops the fight.
Green was a former British and European champion at 140 pounds. His high-intensity style and aggressiveness were evident in solid wins over the likes of former welterweight champ John H. Stracey and former welterweight contender Eddie Price. However, in a previous shot at the WBC welterweight title, Green came unstuck in a valiant losing effort to Carlos Palomino, who knocked him out with a perfect left hook. Unfortunately, history would now repeat itself in the worst possible way. Leonard knocked the British challenger out cold with a terrifying left hook in the 4th round. Green was down for several minutes, and there were anxious moments around ringside. Leonard appeared visibly shaken the moment he saw Green's situation. Thankfully, the challenger recovered.
Look at this. Set him up with 3 punches.
Roy Jones has beaten better opponents and humiliated plenty, but his best moment of humiliation to an opponent came against Aussie fighter Glenn Kelly. In 2002, only a year away from winning the heavyweight world championship, and 2 years from suffering his first knockout loss, Jones was still at the top of his game. Kelly unfortunately met Jones at the wrong time. Jones clowned him for several straight rounds, and then in round 7, he performed a piece of magic no one could ever forget. He placed his hands behind his back, and as Kelly came forward, he sprung into a callous right that knocked Kelly down and out.
Roy was just getting in a mode of having a good time at this stage right here. And as I was saying earlier, this guy was surviving because he wasn't that aggressive. And once he started coming in and committed himself, Roy just took advantage of him, caught him with a nice counter punch.
With his towering stance, extensive reach, and exceptional punching power, Deontay Wilder is enough to give any fighter on the planet a painful headache, and this was definitely the case for Polish warrior Artur Szpilka. On the 16th of January 2016, he fought for the WBC heavyweight title against defending champion Wilder. Szpilka proved an awkward opponent for Wilder with his evasive style, making the champion miss on many occasions. Unfortunately for Szpilka, while advancing closer to Wilder in round 9, he was caught by a devastating right hook flush on the chin, which knocked him out cold. He remained on the canvas for several minutes before being taken by stretcher from the ring and rushed to hospital. Vladimir Klitschko is considered to be one of the best heavyweight champions of all time. He was known for his exceptional knockout power, using a strong jab, and had very quick hand speed, as well as having great footwork and mobility, unusual for boxers of his size. On the 15th of November 2014, he faced undefeated Bulgarian heavyweight Kubrat Pulev. Pulev is an unorthodox character, sometimes opting to box in a boring style to win a decision, whilst other times throwing himself face first into a firefight. On the night, Pulev forced the pace from the opening bell, but showed no head movement whatsoever, and it was only a matter of time before his Ukrainian opponent would strike. Klitschko manhandled the Bulgarian, dropping him twice in the opening round, and he never seemed to trouble Klitschko one bit. Pulev, on evidently unsteady legs, then taunted the Ukrainian by standing on one leg and sticking his tongue out at him. The challenger survived round 3 and even made it through round 4, but the writing was clearly on the wall.
And that left hook is proving unstoppable.
In round 5, Klitschko delivered a thunderous left hook that flattened Pulev, which left him seeing stars, and he was out for the count. In 1995, the best heavyweight trilogy of the last 30 years came to a thrilling climax as Evander "The Real Deal" Holyfield lunged at Riddick Big Daddy Bo, landing a hard right on the inside. Bo was able to counter with a sharp right hand that knocked Holyfield to the canvas in round 8. Although Holyfield managed to get back up, he was finished, and Bo blasted him again to put the finishing touches on the knockout. Referee Joe Cortez had seen enough and did the right thing by stopping the fight and awarding Bo the victory via technical knockout.
The winner by TKO victory, and now reigns supreme as the best heavyweight in the world, Riddick Big Daddy Bo!
On April 22, 2001, Hasim Rahman shocked the boxing world by beating Lennox Lewis in one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. The Rock, a 20-1 underdog, claimed the WBC, IBF, and IBO heavyweight titles in sensational fashion, flooring the defending champion in the 5th round. With 46 seconds remaining in the round, Rahman was able to turn the tide. Lewis was smiling as Rahman used his jab to back him into the ropes. Lewis briefly dropped his gloves, allowing Rahman to quickly deliver a powerful blow that dropped Lewis to the canvas. He was unable to get back to his feet, and Rahman was announced the winner by knockout, becoming the new heavyweight champion of the world.
What a story as Hasim Rahman becomes the heavyweight champion of the world in one of the biggest upsets in the history of the division.
On May 31, 2014, in one of the most intense rivalries British boxing has ever seen, Carl the Cobra Froch faced George Groves for the second time in their eagerly awaited rematch. The bout, which took place at Wembley Arena, London, England, was one of the most highly anticipated in British boxing history. It came 6 months after the two men first met in what was expected to be a nondescript affair last November. In that fight, Groves gave Froch nightmares, dropping him in the first round and mesmerizing him with speed and power, before being controversially stopped in round 9.
And Howard Foster has stopped it! Wow! That is going to be controversial!
Given the controversial nature of the stoppage, there were immediate calls for a rematch, and on January 24, 2014, the IBF ordered a rematch between Froch and Groves, giving Froch 90 days to fight Groves or relinquish his IBF title. This time Froch would leave no stone unturned, smashing Groves in round 8 with a devastating right hook straight to the chin, sending him down to the canvas in a crumpled heap. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any new episodes about boxing's greatest moments. Thanks for watching.